Okay, so why Etsy then? Why do you really go towards Etsy when there's so many other retail stores out there that you could have and shop
Well,
in?
I have always sold marketplaces, eBay, Amazon.com, Etsy are marketplaces. Pretty much they have their own customers that come here. You don't have to drive the customer to these marketplaces. People go there automatically, right? They go on saying, "Hey, I want to see what Etsy has." So you don't have to be chasing the customer. Now, when I began print on demand, it was on merch by Amazon, like a lot of people, right? I was an Amazon seller. Amazon sent me an invitation saying, "Hey, we have this platform," and I started doing it, and I didn't really like a lot of things that were happening there because I didn't have control over absolutely nothing.
Hmm.
A few weeks later, 3 months later, Amazon opened something that's called Amazon Custom, where they don't print for you. You list the product with customizations, where Amazon gives the customer like 2 lines where they can literally add some text. And I decided to try that venue, and I started having way more success on the print on demand by actually being in control of my inventory, by my inventory, control of my pricing, control of my advertisement, control of of my backend keywording, something that emerged by Amazon I was never getting. Even though you can run some ads on Merch by Amazon, you didn't have um, the control of interpretation of data coming from an ad, because you
Hmm.
never knew how many people actually saw it. You never knew how many people actually clicked to buy it. You didn't even know how many of these items were actually in a cart being abandoned. You only knew how many clicked to purchase, and then they advanced into having how many clicks it got, because I started charging by click. But it wasn't really telling me absolutely nothing on my product. Also, I was getting no data on any product that I wasn't not running ads. Like, there were some products that I could list, but after a while, I never knew if somebody would even look at it. I didn't even know if this product even had a chance, in the marketplace, because probably it was never even found in the search query. I could find them because I knew what keywords I used, but if I was somebody who didn't use those keywords, probably I would have never found it. So it became one of those deals that, okay, merged by Amazon, even though it was completely risk free and entry level free, as somebody who has a marketing background, I mean, I studied marketing, it wasn't, a good place to be. So there I went to Shopify, and Shopify, it was like going from kindergarten to high school, right? It's now not only in control of your listing, you have to drive the traffic, because today you open your store in Shopify, nobody knows you exist. I mean, not even your mother, unless you give her a link. So I was there open, and I'm like, oh, okay, how am I gonna get the traffic? And even, after a while, yeah, it started taking off and stuff like that. But it wasn't like the promised land of what somebody had told me. So I said there has to be something in the middle. And at some point, Etsy was always the marketplace for the handmade.
Hmm.
Okay, and they didn't allow anybody who was using production facilities or was reselling. So print on demand for the longest time was something that you couldn't sell on Etsy unless you had the printing facility yourself. So for someone like me who is a reseller, Etsy was never a possibility. So we never looked into Etsy. When Etsy started looking into the numbers, they realized that the average seller has about 20 listings, and because they're handmade products, there are people from home that they got very or focused on one or two products that they wanted to sell, and then they had more because, well, they tried to do something that they didn't sell, and then they had like 1 or 2 units of that product, and Etsy was like, okay, I'm charging 20 cents per listing for 3 months, and these guys are creating 20 listings. This is not a good business, plan, right, for our future. And then when they have like very minimum items to sell, it's like, yeah, we're not getting a lot of items sold here either. So, and they wanted to go public, and by going public, they needed a big push. They needed a big number, and they couldn't go public just by saying, yeah, we have a bunch of moms and pops businesses from working from home. that are really not really working from home. Even though was a huge marketplace because it was tons of people selling and tons of people buying, they were not really power players. Okay, so they said, okay, what do we have that we can bring people? And they look at an Amazon and they're like, well, Amazon had already copied the custom from Etsy, and they already copied the handmade from Etsy. So there are more. Some of these big players are moving from Etsy into Amazon, and they're like saying, okay, we're losing sellers. So at some point, the CEO had this brilliant idea that designs were done handmade. And they said, okay, we are going to allow print on demand people as long as the store owner had something to do in the production process. Name it the artistic creation of the design. So you can sell print on demand on Etsy as long as those designs are yours or by a member of your staff. In this case, a designer can be a member of your staff. And then you can say, I'm going to hire a third-party production facility because I don't have the capabilities to produce my product, but I design my product, right? So that is how we found the loophole to be able to start putting on-demand products on Etsy, and that's how they found it. And before they realized, they got this huge bombardment of people wanting to sell. The problem is that Etsy became the Wild Wild West because they brought a bunch of low-end sellers trying to bring the same junk that they were selling on merch by Amazon into Etsy, and Etsy is like, yeah, we have a bunch of junk. This is not really going to work for us. So they started aiming at the people that were on Shopify. The Shopify sellers that were making $100,000, $200,000, $500,000 a year, they wanted them Etsy. And when they started contacting people on those platforms, they started answering, yeah, we're not interested. Why would I want to go to a marketplace to sell if I can sell in my Shopify store? At the same time, there's all these copycats and all these people reporting, intellectual property. My account can get closed, blah, blah, blah. Where in Shopify, I own the brand, I own the store, I own my clients. So Etsy said, okay, here's the deal. I will let you, the customers are yours and ours. That is the first time a marketplace has ever shared customers with anybody else. So right now you make a sale on Etsy. Etsy gives you all the data from the buyer. You got the email, you got the address, you got the name, you got everything you need for you to try to sell them again and again and again. So it became quite an invitation to say, okay, I like it. But we were like, okay, but now what? Okay, I get that information. So okay, we're gonna have an integration with Aweber. You will get autoresponder integrated with Etsy, and now you can create, as soon as they make a purchase, they can fall into your funnel, and you can bring them back to the store. Okay, now for a marketer, that started becoming something very, very interesting. But we are like, but it's not enough. Okay, the sales volumes that I will have on Etsy marketplace are not going to compare to the sales volumes I will have on my Shopify store. It has to be something more for me. So Etsy said, okay, I'll bring you a Facebook pixel. You can bring your own pixel to your Etsy store, and you can track all your data from every single click you get in your store, from every single person that goes and visits, from every single person that adds to cart. You get that data because your pixel is going to keep track of that, and you can run Facebook ads to your product by going to conversions and getting that. And that's when people started saying, okay, now you got my attention. The real marketers, we started looking, okay, now you got my attention. I can have emails, I can have Facebook pixels, and I can have all this data. Okay.
Yeah, that's so valuable. Yeah. I mean, that's feedback for you as a seller.
So for me, it was like, okay, I'm in Shopify. I'm struggling to build my store because I need to bring traffic. But Etsy is telling me, hey, come and build your traffic here. So that's why when you say $3,000 to $5,000 a month, yes, that's what I make on Etsy, because I don't do more effort, because my effort is really in my Shopify store. Etsy is building me a niche, every single month, every single sale. Because if you know a little bit of Facebook ads, every time you get an email, you can plug that email into Facebook. You can feed that email to Facebook and tell Facebook, hey, Facebook, this is one of my customers. And Facebook said, oh, I have this email in my system. I know them. I said, okay, show me everybody who thinks like this person, right? Look at like audience. And even Facebook says, how many people do you want to think like this person? I want 1 million people that think like that person. Facebook goes and looks for all over the world. Said, I found your 1 million people that you want. Of course, it's not one email. You go with 100 or 1,000, right? And Facebook says, okay, I found your audience. I found your customers. I'm like, okay, now let's run ads on these guys for liking. Let's test my product. Hey guys, that you may like my product. Here is a shirt that I want to sell. What do you guys think of it? And people will start liking for 7 cents, 5 cents per like and share. And now you can start running market research, something that you really didn't, you couldn't really do you open a Shopify store from zero because you don't have absolutely zero data. The beautiful thing is that, yeah, sometimes when you drive an ad to Facebook, sometimes this person is going to go buy something somewhere else in Etsy, but you get data. And for a marketer, data is super important. So Etsy has been evolving and more and more and more, where now we can do A/B testings and we can change our images and we can do keywords and we can do a lot of different stuff that has made Etsy a powerhouse for people that are looking to build a serious business. In 1-2 years, you have next amount of data. You can say, you know what, I don't need this store anymore because my Shopify store has taken off. But at the same time, I use it consistently because it creates me good data. Like right now, for example, we're in the middle of the mask, season. Everybody's selling masks. And I didn't want to really go and spend thousands of dollars on running ads on my Shopify store. So I bombarded my Etsy store first. And I run a couple Etsy ads, internal Etsy ads to see the reaction. And I sold a lot of masks. So now I know, okay, I can leave my mask in Etsy, because they're selling. But now in my Shopify store, I'm doing it, at a greater scale. Because first of all, I don't have to pay 20 cents. Second of all, I don't have to answer to any complaint that people have to do. I don't have to, deal with, feedbacks or reviews or things like that. That could have, in my store, I'm the owner, right? If somebody reports me to Shopify, to PayPal or something like that, I'll deal with it, right? But in Etsy, it's still a marketplace, and sometimes they can say, you know what, you violated some policy and that you didn't violate, that somebody reported you because you were the competitor. It happens on all the marketplaces. Jealousy hits and people report you for nothing. And so you want to have some security as well by having your story as well. But Etsy, it's an amazing marketplace. It has become like a marketer's dream, because even though you don't have the experience to open a Shopify store, you can start learning marketing on Etsy. And the traffic is there. It's 80,000 people every month going to purchase at Etsy. So
that was something as well too, that when we were selling on Merch by Amazon, we didn't have that data to know if it's working. Like if you're throwing up a listing, are people looking at it? What's the reaction there? So with Etsy, it's you have that data in terms of how many people are looking, how many people are buying, all that kind of stuff. So you can scale accordingly and you can grow your creative business.